Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And hi everyone, it's Rosetta here. I'm so happy to be on this chat this week. And can you see we have, what do we
Bridget.
have? Virtual backgrounds.
Yes.
And my one
So of course, I have the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge, and Rosetta has.
I have the London Bridge. Yay! So we both have bridges.
Yes.
Now, don't forget everyone, we really would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up to like, subscribe below, and hit the bell notification, because when we do any chats, it will notify you that we're doing a chat. And we would love for you to get all our chats once a week. That's when we do our chats, and we'd love for you to subscribe. Okay. As we always do, we're going to start with the teas that we're drinking. And today I'm drinking a tea by Numi, and it's called the Belagique, and it's turmeric 3 roots, and it has ginger, licorice, and rose. So that's what it looks like. Oops, you can't see it because of the virtual background. Anyway, it's by Numi, and it's called the Belagique, turmeric 3 roots. And I'm going to read the description here. It says, blending earthly turmeric, spicy ginger, and sweet licorice. You know, I like my licorice. 3 roots transports your senses to an exotic spice market. Breathe deeply as the complexity unfolds. All right. Well, I have mine seeping as I'm pouring it out. Cheers, Gloria.
Cheers, my dear. Cheers. Cheers.
Yep. And why don't you tell everyone what tea you're drinking this week?
I am drinking a Bigelow Benefits, and check out the name, Radiant Beauty. How cool. Yeah, so you see the blueberries. So Radiant Beauty is a combination of hibiscus, apple, natural blueberry flavor, orange peel, rose hip, elderberry, what is this? Licorice fruit, your favorite, aloe vera, and concentrated blueberries. Doesn't that just look amazing? And I love Radiant Beauty. So I
cuts in and out.
I know. I tried to hold it to where you can see the name.
Okay, good. I should do that. See if I can do that with mine. Can you see it with mine? No, you can't.
I can see the bottom. There we go. See,
well, you can see well, anyway, that's what it's Numi.
Yes. So I steeped it, and then I put it over ice, and it's a warm day, and you can't see it, but my ice is gone. So cheers.
It's a pinky one. Cheers. Cheers. Let me grab my tea, even though you can't even see me drinking it. Cheers.
I know. Cheers.
You can see it's in and out. The bridge.
Yes. So today we wanted to kick it off, as always, with Ellen. You know, Ellen is still telling and reminding us all to be kind to one another. And one of the cool things that Ellen did blew my mind. You know, Twitch works for Ellen. He's her DJ dancer. He took over dancing for her. And his wife is Allison, and Allison is one of the girls on Dancing with the Stars. So what they did is they did a little test. So Rosetta's going to set this up, and we're going to run it real quick.
All right, we want to show you this. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if it works. All right, let's watch this.
Check your privilege edition. Put a finger down if you have been called a racial slur. Put a finger down if you've been followed in a store unnecessarily. Put a finger down if someone has crossed the street to avoid passing you. Put a finger down if you've had someone clench their purse in an elevator with you. Put a finger down if you've had someone step off of an elevator to keep from riding with you. Put a finger down if you've been accused of not being able to afford something expensive. Put a finger down if you have had fear in your heart when being stopped by the police. Put a finger down if you have never been given a pass on a citation that you deserved. Put a finger down if you have been stopped or detained by police for no valid reason. Put a finger down if you have been bullied solely because of your race. Put a finger down if you have been denied service solely because of the color of your skin. Put a finger down if you've ever had to teach your child how not to get killed by the police. Any fingers left? That's privilege.
All right. So I'm going to stop the video. There you see it. All right.
Yes.
There you see it. So
So
both doing it.
yes,
How many
we were
fingers
both
did you
doing
have
it.
left?
How many fingers did you have left?
Well, I had all my fingers up. How many fingers did you have up?
I had one.
Okay.
And I don't think I'm a violent type person. I think I'm a sweetheart. I love everyone. So if I only had one finger up and you are a young person who lives in a lower income area, that's pretty sad because there's no way they have any fingers left.
Right. And then the one that Allison put down, the one finger, was teaching your child how not to get killed. And you mentioned that
That's
before to me. And we have
Yeah.
mentioned that in previous chats. Why don't you talk about that?
Well, you know, when your child, especially a Black child, is going out to play with their friends, most of us live in pretty diverse areas. You have to teach your child not to run, even if they didn't do anything wrong. If the police says, "Hey, kids," you have to teach your child to freeze, to stand, to put your hands up so that the police officer can see you don't have anything, you're not doing anything wrong. You teach your children when they learn how to drive, if they're stopped by a police, put their hands on the dash. Make sure they make no sudden moves. Make sure they take their driver's license, insurance, and put all that information on top of the dash. And then let the officer know that they can either reach for it or they'll hand it to them. I've also recently, even though my son, my baby is 32, I have told him, record the transaction. So when he is stopped by a police, just leave his phone where it is and hit the record button.
Wow. Yeah, that's important, right?
Yes.
Think about that. That's good advice. Good advice.
Yes. You know, Rosetta just shared with me that there were some teens that were in Clayton, Georgia. And what the kids did, there were 5 young Black kids, and they went into a convenience store. And while they were in the store, you know, they were just kids being kids. When they went outside, the clerk called 911 to say that there were some Black kids in this store. They were probably stealing something. And when they got outside, they had a gun. So you can just imagine the fear that would set in to your heart if all of a sudden your child was being stopped. And long story short, the kids had a BB gun. However, the BB gun looked like a real gun. And by the grace of God, the police officer was very calm. You know, he kept talking to the kids, and because the adults in the neighborhood, when the police officer pulls his gun on the children, of course, they start freaking out because they don't understand the background of why the police officer is doing what he's doing. And they're like, they're just children, they're babies, put your gun down. Why do you have a gun? And the officer says to the children, you know why I'm here, put your hands up and just, we're gonna wait. I've called for backup and we're just gonna stay calm until backup gets here so that then he could search the kids and make sure that it wasn't a real gun.
Right, right. And when I had first seen this video, it really made me sad because I cried because I didn't know the full extent of the story. I just saw that few minutes, what I saw of the lady saying, "Sir, please put the gun down." She was actually talking to the policeman who had held the gun up to the kids, the young 15-year-old kids.
Right.
And I thought, here we go again. This has gone too far now.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the full story, but as Gloria said, they were 15-year-old kids who had BB guns. They weren't real guns, but then the police.
Yeah, it was just one gun. And the kids, I mean, the kids knew what they were doing was wrong because after they left the store on the way home, they threw the gun into the bushes.
Yes. And the policeman did tell the young kids that, you know, this is not okay to be having a BB gun because it looks very real. You have to
Yes.
be very careful about playing around with things that look real. And that looks, it really does. If you look it up, it looks like a real gun. I
Yeah,
mean, from,
we'll put the link down below so that you can see. It looks like a real gun.
yeah.
Yes. So I think we all have to make better decisions as we go forward. Um, One of the things that I was very pleased to see, the Supreme Court just reheard the Title VII of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, which prohibits discrimination because of sex. They extended that to people who face job bias arising from their sexual orientation or their gender identity. So where a lot of people thought, because a lot of the power in our country right now is being led by people who don't really like people of different colors and lifestyles, that they were going to just shoot it down and it would just move the LGBTQ plus community years back. Well, they didn't shoot it down, they kept it in place. So that was amazing, with all the unrest going on in the United States of America. That was a very unique surprise.
Yes, I'm so happy that the Supreme Court actually passed that, because that's a huge, huge thing next to being able to get married, gay marriage.
Absolutely. We also, in America, we have been experiencing a lot of loss of lives in the Black community. And prior to George Floyd, it was always a conversation. However, there was no real background information. And I think the world seeing George Floyd killed on national television has just institutionalized this whole process. And now I mean, you hear the term Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. And that's all a Black person wants, all lives to matter. So most recently, Malcolm Harsh, on May 31st, they found him hanging. And initially they said, oh, it's suicide. And I was talking to Rosetta and I'm like, typically people who do that, they do it at home or they do it somewhere. They don't go out to a public location and do like that. So I thought that was a little suspect. And then on June 10th, another young man in Palmdale, California, Robert Fuller, was found hung. And so they're also investigating it because Malcolm Harsh was in Victoriaville, California. So both of these are in California, which is like very surprising. And I think people were kind of, because that just happened. And then I think it was either Monday or Tuesday, Rayshard Brooks, he's a 27-year-old young man. He was in Atlanta. He was stopped for a DUI. He was sitting in the Wendy's drive-through line waiting to buy some food and he fell asleep. So, sometimes people will just drive around or they'll honk at you and they'll go, move, Well, I guess someone called the police and the police came to investigate why he was sitting there. Long story short, they gave him a DUI breathalyzer. He came back legally drunk. So he said to the police officer, why don't you just take me home? Take me home. And they said, no, we're going to arrest you. So they started putting the handcuffs on him and he proceeds to tussle with the officers. He's running away from the officers. He has, during the tussle, he got one of the tasers. He aims the taser, but he's running forward. He aims his arm behind him at the officer, and then one of the officers shoots him twice in the back and he dies. So once again, we still have got to figure out how to retrain our officers not to kill, to maim, because I always want to know why. If someone does something, especially if it's horrific, why'd you do that? What caused you to wake up that morning and say, oh, I'm going to go into the bank and kill 10 people? If you kill the person, we never have closure. We never know what happened. We never know why.
Yeah, and when I saw this video, yes, this man was, this African American guy was a bit like running away, and he grabbed the taser. But I do not believe that this was the cause of why the policeman should have shot him. My thing was, why didn't the policeman just chase him down? I mean, the guy didn't have a gun. It's not like he's going to turn around and shoot him, right? Just
Exactly.
chase him down like they do back in the olden days, right? They just do it.
Yes.
That's a chase scene, right?
Yes.
I don't
I
know.
mean, and the other thing, the young man, he was running. So even if the police officer said, you can run, but we know where you live, let him run. And then you go to his house and you just sit there and wait for him. And you're like, we're still here.
Or find him somehow. I'm sure there's a way they can find him, right?
Absolutely, honey. We have GPS all over us. These little cell phones we have on our possessions, they give out so much data.
Well, you're right. They should have actually, just like he said, brought him home, right?
Yeah,
Maybe left his
right.
car at Wendy's and then taken him in their car and just driven him home.
Absolutely. The circumstances would have been way, way different.
Right, right.
Yeah. I'm also very impressed with, we always laugh and say when Oprah talks, everyone stops. Everyone wants to hear what she has to say. So Oprah did sort of like a town hall 2-night event in which she had Black leaders from all walks and aspects of life to talk about what's going on and why is it different now? Why are things happening now? And she called it, where do we go from here? Because a lot of people are very frustrated. And while the Black community has known this environment with the police officers for our whole lives, a lot of people, this is new. And they're like, well, what can we do? How can we help? And like I always tell you, vote, 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 vote. We have got to put people in office who will make people responsible and accountable for their action. So if you haven't seen it, I think you would be very interested in what they have to say.
Yes, and Gloria is right. This election in November, please, 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 everyone, vote. Don't think that your vote doesn't count, because that's the theory. A lot of people think that, oh, I'm not going to vote because everyone else is going to vote. But your
Yeah.
vote, if everybody thinks that way, it adds up. And that's what happens, right? You put
Yes.
strong people in office. So please
Yeah.
vote. I can't stress that enough. Please, we need to vote, people.
Yes. Well, the president that's in office today, a lot of the reasons that he won was because people were so fed up. It's just one vote. We did all this voter suppression in back east where people stood in lines for hours and they couldn't vote. So this is your privilege and it's your responsibility. So vote, vote, vote.
And I have to say that I remember real quick in the last election when it was Trump and Hillary Clinton, I had people saying, I don't like Hillary Clinton, so I'm not going to vote. And I don't like Trump, so I might as well not vote.
Exactly. And look at what we got.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So let's lighten up a little bit. How about a labor of love update?
Labor of love. Yes, if all of you
Yes.
have been watching, I don't know if you have, but I'm going to be doing my weekly recaps on this. And last week, because it comes on every Thursday, Kristen was in the house. She's already eliminated several of the men. Again, real quick recap. She's 41 and she's looking for the husband who can give her children. That's the top priority. If you're a man, you have to be ready to have kids. She wants to have kids within the year. So she's looking for the right guy. This week, there were 2 guys that cooked for her. It was
Wow.
from Australia and Keith, the African American guy. Keith came up with the idea, but Andy decided to do that. So Keith got very upset and he showed his vicious side because he said, I don't want to be second best. And I think it was his idea. He was going to cook her fried chicken, but Andy cooked her some stew with rice and it all went held up. But anyway, in the end, what happened was she did 2 dates again. One was with Andy and the other one was with Gary. Gary, actually, the date they had was in the backyard, and it was a birthday for kids. And they wanted to see how Gary would manage with all these kids. Andy, they went out and did some bashing of cars, and they were dressed up, ready to do some aggression, taking out of aggression.
Wow.
So Kristen learned that Andy wasn't the right person for her because he was more concerned about all the other guys in the house rather than her. She wanted him to focus on her and not the
Yes.
other. So
Yes.
in the end, Andy is out.
Okay.
So
So how
Andy
many left now?
What's that?
How many are left?
I don't think like 8 left. I think
Okay.
8. Matthew, the guy that was from the very beginning, the wrestler, he's out as well.
It's so sad. I wanted him to go all the way. So I don't know what he did that was stupid, because his date with her was so sweet and so kind.
It was very nice, but they did an activity and he did not answer with the right answers that she wanted, talking about like, if you have kids, who's going to look after the kids? And he said he wanted the woman to look after the kid. She goes, well, wait a minute, what if I want to keep my career? So that was one of the things that turned her off. But that's the recap from last week, and
Okay.
that's what it was. Labor of love.
Okay, so we're now going to turn our attention to COVID-19. A lot of states have started reopening. Some states never really shut down all the way. Their philosophy, we are a small community. There's no way we can get this. We don't have any brown, caramel, yellow people, in our community. We don't have anybody old. So they put these caveats on it. Well, let me tell you, Rosetta was telling me that Oregon and Utah, they opened up, they're shutting back down, and Arizona, Texas, and Florida are having the highest numbers since COVID-19 was announced. So people, maybe it's not a bad idea to wear a mask and stay 6 feet apart. They found that in locations,
Sorry, I was going to say there's a lot of states that now that we're opening up into different phases, people are not taking it seriously enough. There's some people wearing masks and some people not. It's crazy.
I know, just being irresponsible. There was a restaurant in Florida, and 16 friends got together and went there. They all got it. They all got COVID-19.
Wow, all
and they're young people. So they were on CNN Como's show, and Chris was like, so did you believe you could get it? Is there anything you could have done that would have ensured you didn't get it? And they were like, we didn't think we could get it. We're young. We don't meet the profile. So apparently there's a profile out there somewhere in the internet world. So they didn't think they met the profile, and yet they got it. And different aspects too. Some of them got real sick. Some of them didn't get sick. They all tested positive.
Wow. I'm surprised that all 16 of them got COVID. It wasn't just a few of them or majority of them, every single one of them.
Yeah. And because some had symptoms and some didn't, they didn't even know that, like this one person, she said, she goes, I felt yucky for a couple of days. And then another girl was like, I got deadly ill.
Wow. So that's when you don't know you have the symptoms, when you can actually pass it on to other people.
Exactly.
So that's the most important. That's the scary thing.
Yes. There was a woman in New York. She was just asking for someone to give her a spanking because, they blurred her face. However, I hope she's not a mother, because that was not motherly behavior. Apparently they have laws like we do here in California. In order to enter a business, you have to have face covering. So she went to a bagel store. The people in the bagel store didn't say, we can't serve you because you don't have on a mask. They sold her the bagels. One of the other customers walked over to an employee and said, I thought you had to wear facial covering, and she shouldn't be allowed. She overhears the conversation. She says, I don't like passive aggressive people. If you got something to say, you say it to my face. She goes back, she finishes up her transaction, walks back over to the customer and coughs on her. I mean, that is really behaving poorly, badly.
Well, that's like a little child trying to get their own way.
Exactly.
Hello, people. You're a grown woman. Act like a grown woman.
Well, my thing is, if I own the bagel store, number one, I would hope my employees would feel safe enough to tell her, no, you can't shop here. Number two, I would blow up her face and put it on all my buildings. I mean, she would be the most famous person on the planet, because people need to know. Because she even said something sort of like, because she was coughing. That's what made the customer say something. She's coughing, and then she goes, oh, I have antibodies. How do you know you have antibodies? You don't know.
Who cares she has antibodies? She's giving it to antibodies, but what about other people, right? They don't know that.
Yeah, she's just putting her nastiness out into the...
Is she going to go around tell everyone, oh, you can see me without a mask, I have antibodies? Is she going to walk around saying that the whole time?
Put something on her chest that says, I have antibodies. That doesn't mean anything. I tell you, Amazon has always figured out ways to keep its business running. Amazon has some new distancing technology that they're going to share with companies. What you need is a monitor, like a television. You need a computer. And then what you do is you place it so that people can see, because it's sort of like, you need a camera. Like when you go into a store and you're shopping and you look up and you can see different quads of the store. You need something like that. And then what this software will do is, as long as anyone in the facilities is 6 feet apart, it has rings around them and they're green. If they get too close or the rings start to collide, they turn red. That is going to help.
That's great. Yeah. And that's for right now, they're just doing it for businesses, right?
Yes, because Amazon is just using it for businesses that need that extra help. However, that would be awesome if it's in the grocery store. When we go to, go shopping, go to Safeway, go to Walmart, wherever you go to, pick up food. If you look down and you're like, okay, I'm green, and all of a sudden you turn red, then someone has gotten too close.
Right. And you said that Amazon is actually giving it away for free?
Yes, they're actually offering to give it away, and they want to share this technology. So I think that is awesome. Yes. Good job, Amazon.
All need to do is, all Amazon is doing is giving away this software for free, but the company has to provide their own video, their own laptop or monitoring screen.
Right. I mean, because what they did it was on Good Morning America. We'll put the links, everything that we talk about. If we find reference material, we put the links down below so that you can check it out. Yes. And what they did is they had, like, say, a 45-inch television, and then underneath it they had a laptop, and then up in the readers they had cameras. So as the employees were walking, and they just showed this one intersection, so people were walking, and at a certain point it would start to turn red, and they would stop. They would let the other person continue, and then they would turn back green, and they would go. So it's a visual realization of how close you are to someone.
Okay, that's good. I like that. Well, thank you, Amazon. Good.
Yes.
For you. At least you're doing something really. Yes.
Really and as we both know, with the passing of George Floyd, his family is just completely devastated. And his brother was given the opportunity to speak in front of Congress this week. And it's just to make sure that they realize, he didn't do anything that should have warranted his life. I mean, as Rosetta and I have shared with you all before, if you go to a place and you have a $20 bill and it's no good, I can't remember, it's been years, but I think I had gone like to Reno or something, and I got a fake $20 bill out of a slot machine or something. And I remember I went over to the cashier and I said, hey, I just got this bill from you guys and something's wrong. And they just checked it out and they took the bill and gave me another one. I mean, I didn't lose my life because of a potential bad bill. I have never heard anyone say that that was his line of business, that's all he did was fraud. So his brother just wanted to make sure that Congress was aware that, this was just a horrific, horrific crime, and that we have to do something to protect all citizens against this going forward.
Yes, thanks for pointing that out. It is horrific. It is really horrific.
Yes. Well, you and I've been trying to figure out what's going on with sports because, we have men in our house that's like, I just need some sports. So the basketball players are the ones that are looking the most towards getting out of the house and going to play. They're looking at possibly putting them in Disney World in Florida, setting up all the amenities so they would have chefs there to cook the food, people there to cut their hair, groom their hair. I saw that they could have manicures and pedicures and all of that. When they first get there, they're going to sequester them for 36 hours and then they'll test them. And then after that, they will just stay there. How would you like it if your husband went away to play basketball for however many months that's going to last? Do you think the guys are going to be able to do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want my husband to go away for that long. Whether the guys like it or not, I wouldn't know. No.
Yeah, with all the testing too. They're going to test you, and then you're going to play, and then they're going to test you, and then you're going to play.
Yeah, basketball, they're going to test every other day. And my question is, yeah, they're going to test you every day, but what if you get found that you have symptoms?
Yes.
What's going to happen then?
Yes, I just heard yesterday that Ezekiel Elliott with the Dallas Cowboys has COVID-19. So he's not going to be playing football anywhere in the near future.
Right. No, he's not.
So let us know what you think. What do you think should happen? Should they play? Should they just, we're going to forget this whole season. Stay home with your families. We'll set up some regimens for you to keep your bodies fit and we'll see you next season. Or do you think they should play? Let us know.
Yep, please let us know. We'd like your feedback. And my feedback is, why don't we just let this season go?
Yeah, I agree.
We don't have a vaccine for it. So when we
agree.
We can stop playing.
I know. So I am a Good Morning America person. I always talk about Good Morning America. I love Robin Roberts. I love Michael Strahan. Michael Strahan is my guy. I loved him when he played football for the New York Giants. I have been an admirer of him for years. Well, they have an ABC Senior Vice President of Talent and Business Affairs. Her name is Barbara Badita. And apparently she has been making some inappropriate comments as it relates to Robin, Sunny Hostin on The View. So her scope is more than just Good Morning America. And so they have pulled her off of the job. They're doing an investigation. I think it just goes to show you how the situation of people mistreating people because of skin color has just gotten out of control. Because, Robin Roberts is such a sweetheart. She's such a kind woman.
Yeah, and why don't you tell everyone watching what this lady said about Robin Roberts?
She made a reference to Robin Roberts. She was trying to negotiate her contract a few years back, and she referenced the fact that, she's making more money than she would picking cotton. So kind of what's the problem? She knows that Sunny came from very humble beginnings. She lived in the projects, And so she made a reference from her regarding low income. There was a gentleman that worked there, and she made a reference to him. You know, what is he trying? How much money does he think we should pay him? We pay him, you know, more. She says, I don't think we should pay him what we pay for toilet paper. I mean, just inappropriate conversations like that. I mean, when you are blessed, you know, too much is given, much is expected. Don't be nasty. Don't be nasty.
Yeah, so I'm very interested in following this story to see what happens. So we'll keep everyone, you know, apprised of what's happening, because I'm sure you want to find out. I definitely do want to find out what happens.
Yes, I do too. So Rosetta and I have been going through no nails. We're so excited. There's a possibility, how you doing, that nail salons are going to open on Friday. And as excited as I am to hear that, I don't think I'm going to go and get my nails done right away. How about you?
No, I don't think I am. I'm kind of nervous, even though I have no nails. I think I've, you know, managed for 3 months. And I think I'm okay. I'm going to wait it out and see what happens. Maybe after a couple of months or a month or so, I'll see how it goes. If there's no news about what's been happening in the salon, once the judge hit COVID, I might consider it. I might.
Yes, might. I agree. I might. So one of the things we wanted to do is, as we learn information, we're creating a little segment we call Tip of the Day. So Dr. Jen Ashton on Good Morning America, she was talking about, you know how they have the surgical mask? They have some mask. The one I used to have, it died, so I had to put it down. It was tight. So when I would take it off, it would have a line where it was on my face. A surgical mask, her advice is don't turn your head because it has gaps on the side and the droplets could escape. If you're going to cough or sneeze, look straight ahead, cough and sneeze in the mask, and then it will capture more of the droplets. So we wanted to let you know that, because that mask isn't very tight. So Rosetta and I, we were like, well, now wait a minute. That's what they wear when they're in surgery. So if somebody's in surgery and they cough, could you get a cold? We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, because they're supposed to protect you, even though I don't understand how, because they have the gaps on the side. I mean, even though there's one ply, I think there's different plies. There's 3 plies at the highest. I'm sure that's pretty good. But what about the gaps on the side? I have no clue how that works.
Yeah, I'm with you. And if you know, comment down below and let us know.
We'd like to know if you know anything about that, please, because I'm interested to find out.
Yes. So how about a few questions to kind of lighten the mood?
Yes, we will lighten up the quarantine with some fun questions. Okay.
Yes.
Would you rather donate your body to science or donate your organs to people who need them?
Donate my organs to people who need them.
Okay, me too as well. Because even though science, we need bodies for science,
right?
People who are living could make use of it straight away.
Absolutely, and we can increase their livelihood immediately.
Yes. Okay, great. Okay. Question number 2. Would you rather have a piece of pie or a piece of cake?
I'm torn because I like cake, but I don't like cake with icing. I'm weird that way.
Okay,
I like
so pound cake. Have icing.
Yeah. So if it's like that, then I would want cake, but if not, I would go for pie.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'm the same way. I only like cake that has real whipped cream, or if it has, you know what I really love is that fondant they put on it.
Ooh.
You know, like a princess cake, they put the fondant over it.
Yes.
Oh, love it. I would have that any day, but I do not like icing or buttercream.
No, I don't. It's just too sugary. I can't.
It's too sweet. So
I watch people sometimes in restaurants. And so like what I do is I eat the cake out of the icing, and I'll watch somebody, you know, like at another table, and they eat all the icing. And I'm like, oh, how can you do that?
Oh, that's pure butter and sugar. I do not like that. Yeah. Yes. All right. So the next one is, do you prefer a massage or facial?
Ooh, massage.
Massage.
Yes.
Okay, me too. I have a massage over a facial. But to be honest, I don't go to spas or get massages because that's not my thing. But if I had to, I would do a massage.
There you go. I
Yeah.
know I usually do massages when I'm on vacation because, regular time, I never even think about it.
Yeah, I don't either. And I've been one time and it's not my thing. I don't get excited about that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know why.
It is a personal thing because people are all over you. So,
Right. And some people say
I,
I'm weird. Why don't I like it? I'm like, because I just don't.
that's right. Say it's my prerogative not to like it if I don't want to.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Next question. Would you rather watch a movie at home or a movie in the cinema?
Cinema. I don't know how they're going to fix this with COVID. I miss movies so much.
Yes, me too. I really like going there because I like to eat my popcorn at the same time as watching them, even though I
Yeah,
can get
and it's
popcorn
not
at
the
home.
same at
Not
home.
the same. Got to have
I
popcorn.
agree.
Yes, yes. All right, the last question. Do you prefer Captain America or Thor?
Ooh, Thor.
Okay,
Thor.
and why do you prefer Thor?
I love that little hammer thing that he tosses around, and the actor who plays him is quite easy on the eyes. I think he is just such a gorgeous person inside and out. He's a lovely man.
Yes, and you're on the same page as me because I choose Thor, and not because they have better like powers or strengths. It's because
Right.
I love Chris Hemsworth. He's easy
See?
on the eyes. I could watch him all day long.
Absolutely. And he's such a nice man.
He
I love
really
that.
is. He really is. And I did not know that he is Australian.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So I saw him during COVID. Someone had interviewed him. I'm like, he's Australian. He's good
You're like,
looking.
I didn't even know that.
Didn't know that, but he's gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Oh, I love it. Well, we always like to start and finish our day with Ellen. So, Ellen recently highlighted a second grade teacher. She missed her kids so much. She got in her car and she went and she dropped off little information about them because she didn't want them to fall so far behind. She wanted them to know that even though they didn't see her every day, she loved them. And when COVID was over, she's going to be there for them. I thought that was really sweet. So Ellen got Box Top to give her $25,000. Yes, just Ellen is always, even with all of the things that are going on with the unrest in America, she is trying to keep everything positive and highlight the goods that people are doing. So Ellen, we salute you. You are
Thank you,
wonderful,
Ellen.
wonderful,
And it's nice because we want to learn
wonderful.
about these people as well. We want to learn
Yes,
about what good people are doing as well. So
yes,
thank you very much, Ellen.
yes. Well, I can't believe it, but we have gone through everything we wanted to share today. We're going to put the links down below so that you can, read more information. Information is power. And the one did her show, she had mentioned that she went to Amazon to buy books because all of her friends were like, well, how do I learn about Black people? And how do I learn if what I'm doing is right or wrong? And Amazon is out of Black books related to Blacks and how they live and their thought process and all of that. And I thought to myself, well, why don't you just have a conversation? So that tells you something. If you have to buy a book and you can't just talk to someone Black, that means you have segregated a part of your life. So step out and say hello to someone Black. I promise they'll say hello back. And you will learn a wonderful, kind human being you just met. And it had nothing to do with skin tone. So step out.
Yes, that's great. That's nice to hear about that all the Black books are I'm just wondering, like, the Black books that are written, are they by Black authors? Because that would be
Yeah.
great that people are supporting those Black authors, right?
Yes, and they were written by Black authors, and books that have been out for years. I don't mean something that just came out last year. Like how to talk to your Black child, because people are having to figure out how to explain this. These are police officers, our protectors, and they're shooting and killing people. Our babies don't understand, so they're trying to find different avenues to share that information.
Okay, yeah, you're right. We can step out and speak to more people, and also, but on the other flip side, you're supporting a Black author, which is good as well.
Absolutely. So keep an eye on Amazon. The books will come back into circulation, and reach out and say, hey, how you doing?
Yep. Oh, okay. I love this. I loved our chats. And another quick reminder, we'd love for you to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. And we've really, really enjoyed our chat this week over tea. And we love
Yes.
our new virtual backgrounds, even though we're
Yeah.
in and out sometimes. It's okay, but we
Yes.
different side. But thanks everyone for tuning in, and we really, really appreciate that. Take care, and remember
to
always
always
keep smiling.
keep smiling.
Take care now. Stay positive.
Bye.
Bye. Bye bye.
Bye.